This is a quick video to show you how to set up your Battleship game in Google Spreadsheets. We did this on Tuesday, November 21st, so if you were gone or had trouble, you'll want to be watching this video so you can get your spreadsheet all set up. This is going to help us practice learning what cell ranges are and then doing different formatting changes to them, like changing column and row sizing and adding borders and color. So here's the instruction sheet. You're going to want to just follow it straight down. It tells you step by step what to do, and this video is going to talk you through each step. So we're going to open a blank Google spreadsheet and rename it your last name Battleship. So I'm going to go over to my Google Drive, do New, Google Sheets. Once it opens, I'm going to click up here where it says Untitled, and I'm going to call it my last name, Battleship. I have to put something extra at the end because I have several of these, but you don't have to do that part. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is add another sheet. This is on number 2 right here. We're going to call the first sheet Enemy Ships and the second sheet My Ships. So I'm going to switch back. I've got too many tabs open, like always, right? Okay, so we're going to rename this, and we're going to call it Enemy Ships. Then we're going to add another sheet, and we're going to call this My Ships. Okay, back to our instruction sheet, and we're on number 3. This is going to have us highlight the range. We're going to add borders and change the color to pink on Enemy Ships. And then number 4 is very similar. We're going to go to the My Ships tab, highlight the same range, A1 through J15, put all the borders on, and then change the color of the cells to blue. So I'm going to show that to you right now. So I want to highlight A1 through J15. I'm going to be on Enemy Ships tab. Then I'm going to come up here to my toolbar. I'm going to add all borders, and I'm going to change the color to pink. Then I'm going to do the same thing over on My Ships, but this time the color will be blue. So A1 through J15, all borders, and the color this time is blue. And you want it to be kind of a lighter blue so that you can see your writing when we get going. Okay, so that's through 4. Then our next one is number 5. We're going to change the column width to 50 and the row height to 40 on both sheets. So I'm going to go back and show you how to do that. On Enemy Ships, what I want to do is click up here next to the A so the entire column is selected. And then on my keyboard, what I'm going to do is hold down Shift while I hit the right arrow. So I've selected A, so the whole column is clicked on. Then I'm going to hold down Shift and go right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, all the way until it highlights to J. Then I'm going to come up back to the A, use the down arrow, and about halfway through this menu, you'll see Resize columns A through J. That's where I'm going to type 50 in and hit Enter. And it changes their column width. So same thing on My Ships. I'm going to come over here, click on the gray part that A is in so that the entire column is selected. Then I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard and hit the right arrow until it goes all the way to J. Then I let go of both keys, and I come back to the A section, use the down arrow, and choose Resize columns A through J. I'm going to put 50 in there and hit Enter. And now we're going to change the row height, and this is going to be to 40. So we do it in a similar way. I'm back on the Enemy Ships tab. I'm going to click by the 1 on the left, And then I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard and use the down arrow until I have all the way to 15 selected. Then on this one, there's no down arrow by the one for you to choose. So to get the menu over here, you're going to need to do a right click. And a right click on a Chromebook is your 2 fingers hitting at the same time on your trackpad. So 2 fingers hit at the same time, you'll get a menu, and resize rows 1 through 15 pops up. You'll type in 40 and hit enter. Do the same thing on my ships. So I'm coming over to row 1, clicking by the 1, holding down Shift on my keyboard and using the down arrow until I get all the way to 15. Then I'm going to take my mouse and hold it over here by the 1, do a right click, and that's your first 2 fingers clicking at the same time on your trackpad for a Chromebook. And you'll get resize rows 1 through 15, choose 40, and hit enter. Okay, so we have that part all set up. Now what we need to do is we're going to place our ships, and you're going to place your ships on the tab called My Ships. Okay, so let me switch back to your instruction sheet. You will see that you have 8 ships, and this is going to tell you the name of your ship, how many cells that ship takes up, and then what color they should be. These have to all be the same so that it's fair when you're playing against someone else. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my aircraft carrier. It's 6 cells and the color is orange. So I'll switch back. On my ships, I'm going to choose wherever I want. I'm going to choose 6 cells, and I'm going to turn them orange, and that's just like placing my ship right there. Okay, then you'll just go back and forth. You'll switch back and forth, putting in, you'll have 2 battleships that will be 5 cells, and they're yellow. So again, you just decide where you want them to be. Maybe I want mine to be here. And it's going to be yellow. And then maybe I want my other one right here. Okay, so this brings up a good point. You can have your ships touching, but they cannot overlap. Okay, so this is 1 full ship with 6, and this is 1 full ship with 5, but I couldn't set this 5 one on top of this 6. Okay, they can't overlap. They can touch, but they can't overlap. Okay, so you're going to continue doing that until you have all of your ships on. And I'm going to show you one that's already completed, if I can find it. Here's one that's already completed. This is when I was playing with this student in class. So this is on my ships. This is where I had placed all of my ships, okay? And then he was calling out different cell names, and they were either hits or misses. So this is how you keep track of it when you play, okay? When my opponent is calling out a cell, I'm going to be on my ships, and I'm going to record whether they get a hit or a miss. And I'll tell them hit or miss. Okay, and then when it's my turn to call out, I switch back to enemy ships because I'm trying to hit my enemy ships. So I called out to him an E4, and it was a hit. So he tells me hit, and I record a hit. Okay, so that's how you play, just kind of back and forth. If you haven't played before and you're not quite sure how that's supposed to work, this instruction sheet will kind of go through it with you down here on number 7. We just talked about it in class, and we used H's and M's on both sheets, okay, if they hit or if they miss. Or I think this instruction has you on one of them, you can put it big X instead of H or an M, and we just used H and M so that we could keep track of it, okay? And if they sink a ship, you tell them that they sunk a ship. Okay, so for example, my ship's right here. He hit all the way across. So once he got all 6 of these, I said, that is a hit, and you sunk my ship, so that he can keep track of that as well. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, just see me, and we will be turning this in after we return from Thanksgiving break. Thank you.